Hello, and this is my answer to the third evaluation question. How did you use media technologies in the construction and research planning and evaluation stages? First of all, let's look at the construction of the main task. There are many different software programs that we used in the creation process, the first one and main one being Premiere Pro. Due to issues with the college network in the most recent version of this program, we moved to start using Final Cut Pro. They're both very key programs used for editing. As part of the package that comes with Final Cut, LiveType is a program used to create the titles for our main task. We also used a program called Logic for the music and soundtrack. Before we could start editing on Final Cut Pro, I had to use Compressor, a program used to convert some of the files into a usable format on Final Cut Pro. Now, moving on to hardware. The main thing we used for the construction was a camera. Once we had filmed everything we needed onto the SD card, we connected it to the PC to save and convert the files using a program called CamSuite. To protect our files and save the project, we exported them to an external hard drive called a Passport. Because of the constant problems with Premiere Pro mentioned earlier, we eventually moved over to my MacBook. The camera was a Panasonic. Still focusing on construction, we used web pages to help add another depth to the documentary. The main one was YouTube, a key source for stock footage including Gregory's Girl and Match of the Day. Research for the main task and ancillaries was very important. Our main source of information was the internet, including YouTube, which we used to find examples of existing documentaries from Sky Sports and on 4OD. Tumblr is the blogging website I have used to record the processes of pre-production, production and post-production of my coursework. I used the major social networking site Facebook to gain permission from my friends on the football team to film them. Creative Commons led me to the royalty-free site Incompetech, which I sourced for some of the soundtrack with. Google was the main site we used to gain information on our topic, football. This subsequently led me to the FA website and ancillary examples. To record the research that we had done, I used my iPod with the voice memo app, and I also uploaded the research and photos that I had taken onto the Tumblr app which I found. For one blog post we used a Zoom mic to record all of the research we had done on women's football and the sport in general. Moving on to my ancillaries, the radio advert and the newspaper advert. To construct the radio advert, I used the editing software Final Cut Pro, which I am very familiar with, to edit different soundtracks together. My first recording, which I used my iPod for, was not very good quality, so I used the radio room at college with Andrew Miller to get a better sound. When I was finished, I uploaded it to my account on SoundCloud, a site specifically for soundbites. My newspaper advert was created using a screenshot from existing footage. I used the software iPhoto on my Mac to change the basics of the image and then transferred it to Adobe Photoshop, which I used to add the Channel 4 text. And finally, the evaluation. I personally have used a camera to record this question and the iSight camera on a MacBook to film feedback from others. And then I used the same editing software as mentioned before. I am uploading each one onto my blog on Tumblr. I have used the Zooming presentation site Prezi.com to create an answer to the first question, and I have also created a podcast using the program GarageBand to record and edit from my MacBook. I have then saved certain tracks for use in my iTunes library. The end.